In our video today, we're going to share with you some ideas and some techniques to use creativity and art for your own personal enjoyment, relaxation, and coping while at home in this time of uncertainty. Collage is a process of using magazine images and words, found objects, and paper in a new way to tell your story. You cut things out and arrange them to make an image that speaks to your experience. The collage option we'd like to invite you to try today is visual journaling or making a vision board. Both options are asking you to consider some questions for yourself. What story would you like to create for yourself next year? What strengths from the last year helped you to get to where you are today? Where do you find inspiration? Rip, tear, or cut images, words, textures, and colors to create a final piece that speaks to your own vision for next year. You can arrange and rearrange the items multiple times before finally adhering them to the background. Materials you'll need: a journal with a cover that you can glue things to, a piece of cardboard or a background paper, magazines for cutting, glue sticks or a glue gun, fun scrap paper, stickers, a scissors. So I'm going to talk about the idea of a vision board. And so I start out, when I'm thinking about doing a vision board for next year, I'm going to do next year. Even though I could do, this year, I could put on there we talked about resiliency and the idea about what helped me be where I'm at now. I could do that. But what I'm going to do is for next year, so my vision. And I start out by looking at the 8 dimensions of wellness. And there being 8, that's a lot. So I would encourage people, and this is what I did, I actually narrowed it down to 2. So 2 or 3 is probably pretty doable. Otherwise, like I said, it's getting a lot. You could also look at values. So values are things like relationships or trust. And if you wanted to consider those areas too, you could say, this is my vision, this is what I'd like to do next year in regards to those. So I picked the 8 dimensions of wellness, and we're gonna work with my 2, which are occupational and spiritual, are the 2 I picked. So after I do that, you can, if you wanna maybe venture into that a little bit more, like what that actually means to you, you can take a notebook, paper, or something like that, write down occupational, and then what is your actual focus of doing that? It could be making more money. It could be, there's lots of different ways that you could probably see occupational vision for next year. Maybe it's having more purpose in my position or my job, or feeling more fulfilled. If you picked spiritual, like I picked spiritual, it could be, how am I feeling about who I am? Or am I having enough time for me, kind of thing, which is basically the way I took it. So as you're thinking about that, you don't have to do that. I didn't write anything down, but I did really focus on those areas for myself as I was looking through magazines. So I got out my supplies, and a lot of the stuff you can actually have at home. So like magazines at home, paper. So I've got, the construction paper. You can pick a different color if you'd like. I have the paper I'm going to use. It's a little bit more durable, so it's more like tag board. And then you also have other options too if you want to try something that has different pictures on it, different images. You can pick something like that, or even a different color. You can layer different color if you really want to make the background something different. You don't have to use white, but I am going to use white. And then a scissors. Most people have scissors and glue at home that you can utilize to put the images down. So once I've decided what pictures I'm going to use, I kind of decide how am I going to position them on the paper. So you can either, sort of like a mandala we had done earlier, maybe what's the most important thing that I really want to put in the center or focus on. So that could be, if I was going to say spiritual, I could put all my spiritual pictures in the middle, and then anything that would be occupational can go on the outside, because I want to really focus on my spirituality as being the center, and this one is secondary or on the outside. So before you really glue anything down, you can really decide how you want to place things. Now, the images that I picked really correlate, like I said, either with occupational or spiritual. So as I'm looking through here, I found quotes. So this one says, like, what brings you joy? That's what I wish for you in abundance. So you can pick statements, taglines, images. And when you find anything, I mean, really looking through a magazine, it's really what meaning you make to the picture that you find or the tagline that you find. And so as you're looking through, something might stand out to you. Cut it out. Don't necessarily worry too much about, well, is that going to go here or where at that time? Just let yourself kind of go through the magazine and find things that you're attracted to as far as what might apply to your spirituality or occupational. And once you get as many as you would like, you can look through. Now my poster here, my paper isn't very big, so some of that might mean I layer it in a different way. It might mean I scrap some of them. I think I'm gonna really kind of check out here. I'm probably gonna overlap because I really like a lot of my pictures. So some of these over here, I think I'm gonna put my spiritual self over here. And my occupational ones, I'm going to put over here. And again, like if somebody's going to look at this, they probably wouldn't see it the same way I see it, but it doesn't matter because it's for me. So that's what's important. So just rearranging, putting it where you like it. Once you have it where you like it. It gets kind of complicated then because I want to put them all on. So let's see if I can do that. And maybe I get it just so, right? So I kind of know which is going to go where. This would be a time now where I'm going to glue. So if I have things where I want them, and again, some of them are going to be layered, so putting things together where they make sense to be together. I put things on an angle. I'm coming off the page here so I can get all my stuff on. Okay, so you just put them on as they make sense. And once I have everything glued down the way that I want it, then the idea is that you would put this somewhere where you can continue to remind yourself about what is the important thing that I want to do this year or next year. How can I keep encouraging myself with using this poster board? So maybe I put it at work, next to my desk. One of them on here is occupational, and somewhat my spiritual self overlaps with my occupation, my occupational goal. So I could put it at work if I feel like that's really the place that I need to be reminded. Or I could put it on my fridge at home or my closet door, wherever it's going to be the most prominent and probably remind me at the times that I probably need it the most is the best place to put it. So, but the other thing too is that you can change this. So as things go, maybe you add more. It's kind of the nice thing about art is that it's flexible. So if you wanted to add more or make another poster board, that is always an option. If you feel you would benefit from further professional art therapy, please click on the resource and link provided to you to find a local art therapist, counselor, or behavioral health clinic. Thank you for joining us.